So, welcome back. Basically, we're going to talk today about driving lessons and my kids in my class and also kids in the car as well. I have three very special kids that still keep in contact with me to this day. Uh, it's going to be Ella Bella and Zozo and Megan the Stallion. My girls, they were a trip when they were in the car with me. We had lots of great adventures together when they were learning how to drive and getting their, driving chops together and so on and so forth. Um, Not everybody starts out knowing exactly what you need to know, from jump, and that's okay. That's perfectly acceptable. When you get behind the wheel of a car, you really don't have to feel any type of anxiety whatsoever or angst whatsoever, if you will. Now, if you're with somebody that's putting you through that kind of duress or anything like that, that's not what you need. That's not where you need to be. Where you need to be is in a position where you're going to have fun, you're going to enjoy the experience, because the more relaxed the student's going to be, the more they're apt to understand and retain the information that's coming from the instructor so that they can learn more effectively and have fun doing what they're doing while they're learning how to drive. Now, when I was out with the girls in the morning and stuff, they'd tell me about their days and they'd tell me about what they had going on and things of that nature. And we would go through multiple things, not just learning how to drive, because also in that time frame while you're learning how to drive, right? Not everybody's going to get behind the wheel of the car, okay, and start the car up, put the car in drive, and then just sit there and be like, nope, nope, leave me alone. I got to drive. I can't talk to you. Can't listen to the radio. Can't do anything. No, it's not the case. The case is that you guys are going to get in the car. You're going to talk to your parents or your friends or your whoever you're driving around at that point in time. You're going to have to learn how to walk and chew gum at the same time. So that's why when we go out in the car, we talk about everything in as much as learning how to drive as well, right? So when you look at that experience, when you look back at what you've learned for that lesson or for that day or for that duration, right? It should be a happy, fun time where you look back at it and you're like, yeah, you know what? I had such a great time learning how to drive, rather than, oh, geez, God, oh, I don't want you to go through what I went through when I was learning how to drive, which is more than likely why I have the success that I do, right? Because my students continually come back to me. They continually keep in touch with me. They always give me updates as to where they are in life. And I actually gain more and newer students um, each week based upon recommendations of prior students that I had and parents and so on and so forth. And with respect to that, it says a lot about me to a certain extent, but it says a lot about my kids and the experience that they have and how much fun they have when they go out in the car with me. Now, if you come across a situation where you're struggling and you can't find resolution for the problem or whatever, talk to your friends or talk to other people, or you know try and do look something up on YouTube or social media or whatever. There's all kinds of resources out there for you. I have a certain teaching method that I utilize when I'm in the car, and it's honest to God, it's all about having fun, right? Like I said, but the more fun you have, the more you're going to learn, and the more you're going to look forward to doing the lesson. And if you're struggling doing something, right, it's super simple. Like for example, just for example, I'll tell you, a lot of kids, every time they get in the car with me, first thing out of the gate, they're always like, I gotta learn how to parallel park. I gotta do a 3-point turn, etc., etc. But the thing of it is that it's so simple, it's so easy that I mean anybody could teach my method to somebody to learn how to drive. So it's really, honestly, it's a three-step method, is what it is. I mean, if you can count to three, you can do a three-point turn very easily. Okay, a 3-point turn is nothing more than three windows. That's all there is. Okay. Most important part of the whole thing the whole entire thing is that when you're leaving the curb and going to and from the curb, you got a 20-point deduction, which you could lose each time you go to and from the curb, right? So signaling is 5 points, looking over your shoulder to your blind spot is another 10, and both the mirrors are another 5. Now, that's got to be done first and foremost. Once you get across the street and you stop, then at that point in time, you got 3 windows to accomplish looking out. So I specifically teach my kids 3 rules when they get in the car with me, which is rule number 1 is to make people aware of your intentions to use your blinkers. Rule number 2, which is reverse equals rear window. So anytime the car is in reverse, you gotta optically make your way to the rear window, ending with the rear window. And rule 3, which is an acronym that I came up with, which is SMOG, which is signal, mirrors, over your shoulder, go. And that's gotta be done every single time they go to and from the curb. Now, so we get across the street, right? So you got 3 windows to accomplish. Well, guess what? You're not going into the curb, you're backing up. So at that point in time, you got to accomplish, once you're in reverse, making your way to the rear window. So you look out the driver's side down the street, the passenger side down the street, and out the back window. That's it. And then every single street has this crack, goes right down the middle of the road, okay? So you line up the side mirror with the crack in the middle of the road, and you back your vehicle up to that. Now, what do you accomplish by doing that? Well, you're not backing up way too far to the other curb. You're not going to hit another vehicle behind you. And it gives you the perfect stopping point for learning purposes. And then once you stop there, you simply reverse what you actually did. And then you look out the rear window, which is 3, the passenger 2, and the driver's side 1. So it's 3, 2, 1, go. And then you're all set. That's super simple. Super simple. Okay. Parallel parking is, you could do something. It's a 2-stop position where you can do that, but most new drivers can't do that. So again, I do a 3-step drop with that as well. So you put your blinker on, which is rule 1. You go up to the mirror to mirror in the car. And then once you get up there, you put the car in reverse, you turn the wheel once to the right, okay, because the blinker's facing to the right. And then you would look out the windshield, the rear view, the side, driver's side mirror, blind spot, and rear window, which would make your way to the rear window. And what I teach my kids is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to get to the rear window. Then, this is how simple this is. Everybody can't decide or decipher where to stop once you're backing up to make that second transition. All you really need to look for is in the bottom right-hand corner of the passenger window, okay? You're gonna look for just a little piece of the tail light right there, okay? Once you've found that, okay, you've already got your wheel, okay, turn to the right. So you're going to turn it once to the left, and then you're going to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ending with the rear window. Now your attention is going to go to the passenger side mirror. Now when you look in the passenger side mirror, you can see the curb, right? So you look for the door handle on the passenger side. And what you want to do is you're backing up. You want to take and put the door handle, okay, over the curb, and in doing so, it's going to give you the perfect position to stop. And when you stop, you'll be within 6 inches or less from the curb, so you'll be perfectly fine. Now your only other obligation is to complete the process and finish. So it's 1 more turn to the left, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ending with the rear window, and then you tuck the car in, making sure to look at your side mirror and look straight to straighten your vehicle off. And it's all done 1, 2, 3. So the 2 biggest problems for all new students are the 3-point turn and the parallel park, but that's actually not the biggest problem. The biggest problem, the reason that all new students fail a road test is because they can't pull to and from the curb the right way, and they don't know judgment and distance control with regard to when to actually make a turn being observing what's going on in their surroundings. So for everybody that's new teaching out there, or parents that you're teaching your kids how to drive, make sure that you understand that they don't necessarily need to go first thing in the morning. They don't need to, or not in the morning, excuse me, but when they go out driving, they don't need to be doing 30 miles an hour in a neighborhood. They could do 25 very easily. It's an easy speed to accomplish, and then once they get to that point, they have the ability to look at the front lawns or the driveways or side streets and things like that. And they're not really that concerned about maintaining a 30-mile-an-hour speed within the neighborhood. Some of your neighborhoods, like where we live, are only 25. So in that instance, I keep the kids around 20 miles an hour. All right, so it's an easy speed to maintain so that they can visually observe as to what's going around, rather than maintaining the exact speed within the contents of the neighborhood at the time until they get more comfortable with doing those things, and then they can speed up to the proper speed. Now, if you're typically 5 miles under the speed limit in a posted residential area, nothing is going to ever happen to you whatsoever. Plus, it also gains the confidence for the students so that they can move forward to the next step. Now, the other thing that I was making mention of was the fact that, distance control and things of that nature. So we're talking about actually braking the vehicle, okay, or taking off when it's appropriate, when you come to a stop or a stoplight or something like that. So let's just go through with, distance control as far as stopping, okay. Say, for example, the student is going to be making a left or right hand turn, okay, and they're approaching a stop sign. So I teach the kids that braking and blinking equal exactly the same thing. So if you got your foot on the brake, you should definitely have your blinker on, and vice versa. Okay. Also, in the handbook, when they pass the permit, it says you have to signal within 100 feet prior to making your turn. So that actually is what you're looking for with your braking as well. It's within 100 feet of the stop sign. However, all students, every single student that I've ever taught, lifts their foot up and slams it down on the brake pedal. What they should be learning from the beginning is that they take their foot and put it in between the gas and the brake.